Hi everybody, it's Tejal with Preschool Promise. I am here with my friend Dr. Thackeray. He's a pediatrician at Dayton Children's Hospital. Hi Dr. Thackeray, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm okay. So first off, before we even begin, I kind of want to get a close-up on this tie. This is nice. So anyways, you have like your little gadgets, you have the Dayton Children's. You tell me what's on this tie.
Well, so Dayton Children's has a theme throughout the hospital of flight, and so this tie has all the different ways that represent flight: rocket ships and bumblebees and hot air balloons and kites and planes.
That's nice.
It is, and you'll see this theme throughout the hospital. It's really nice.
Oh yeah, I saw the new renovations. It's just really beautiful here.
It is. It's gorgeous. It's a family and child perfect atmosphere for families and children.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about sleep habits with kids. I know that school is about to start. A lot of parents have some concerns and questions, just like what's the right amount of sleep and what can cause sleep deprivation for kids. So what do you want to talk about, Dr.
Yeah, well,
Thackeray?
it is a perfect time as people are getting ready to go back to school. It's a perfect time to think about how to get back into those bedtime routines. I'll ask you a question. Do you know how many hours of sleep are recommended for a preschooler each day, including naps?
So I was thinking about this morning. Is it 10 hours?
Anywhere between 10 and 13.
Okay.
Which is
yes.
a lot of sleep. I mean, if you think about it, and I don't think we always do a good job of making sure our kids that age get that much sleep through the course of a day. So yeah, anywhere from 10 to 13 hours.
I thought you were going to ask me that question. Me and my brother, we're about 7 years apart, so I would have to go to sleep when I was younger at about 8 o'clock, but he would get to stay up till 11. So I was wondering what the proper sleep, time was for kids versus, like teenagers. But that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah, and we can touch on that. Yeah, so anywhere from 10 to 13 hours, and there's a couple tips, and we already mentioned the word routine, and I think that's one of the keys for kids in preschool, getting them into a routine. So it's not just bedtime routine, it's everything they do throughout the day. So waking up at the same time each day, having naps at the same time each day, having playtime at the same time each day, eating meals at the same time each day. All of that routine gives children a sense of security and comfort, and it helps them sort of plan out what their day is going to be like. They know what to expect day in and day out. And then part of that is bedtime routine, right? It's not just going to bed at the same time each day, but it's having a routine that leads into bedtime. So you'll hear pediatricians talk a lot about brush, book, bed. So brushing your teeth, reading a book, and then getting into bed.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's nice. And for kids, it's comforting because they know that when they brush your teeth, the next thing that's coming is they're going to read a book, and then they know it's time to get in bed. So their body and their mind are preparing for going to sleep even before they're in bed.
Wow, I never thought about routine just really helping them go to sleep. Like routine is important. Okay, so I got that.
Yep.
And what's next?
Yep, I think another important thing, especially this time of year, is making sure that kids are active. This is not the time of year for kids to be laying on the couch, watching the TV. The weather's gorgeous outside. They need to get outside, take walks, learn to ride a bike, play games in the yard. The combination of fresh air and physical activity are the perfect ingredients for a good night's sleep.
Put down those phones and those tablets.
Absolutely.
We didn't have that when I was a kid, so.
Yeah, and so limiting screen time is really important, just in general throughout the day, but in the context of getting ready for bed, we recommend that children don't have screens in front of them for about an hour before bedtime. So TVs, iPads, computers, whatever it is, having all that put away at least an hour before bedtime helps children get ready to climb into bed and go to sleep.
That's pretty cool. I never thought about screen time affecting kids. So how does it affect them? Can you repeat that a little bit?
Well, so it's stimulating for them. So, I think, myself included, we think sometimes that if we put a child in front of a TV and let them lay on the couch, then they'll start to unwind and relax and get ready to go to sleep. But really for kids, it can almost have the opposite effect. It can stimulate them, get their brains going. What we really want to do is get that stimulus away from them, again, about an hour before they get ready for bed.
That's great. So what kind of concerns should parents have, or should they watch out for when it comes to like sleeping or sleep deprivation for kids?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So even with, good routine and lots of physical activity, it still may not be enough, and kids can have problems with their sleep. And so I always encourage parents and caregivers to just every now and then check in with their teacher, check in with the preschool teacher, see how your child's doing in terms of attention. Are they staying awake in class? Are they zoning out? Is there a change in their behavior? Because any of those things could indicate that there's some problem with their sleep routine at home. And so, you know, parents play a role, caregivers play a role, but the teacher plays an important role as well in just making sure that they're communicating. And what I always recommend to parents is if you have concerns about how much sleep your child's getting, or if there's something wrong with their sleep routine, talk to your doctor, talk to your pediatrician, and ask those questions, because the reality is most sleep issues in preschool children, they're really easily treated. But it just takes a communication between the caregiver and the physician.
So that's pretty cool. So let me see if I remember, and if I do, you guys owe me a tie, okay? So the first point was establishing a routine.
Yep.
Making sure that your child knows, or you guys take the steps so they know, like, it's time for bed, kind of wind down.
That's right. And those routines should be routines that they can do anywhere. And so a lot of kids spend time with their parents, but they may stay the night at grandma's house, they may spend the night with aunt and uncle. So whatever the routine is, it's got to be something that they can do in whatever home they're in for that night.
Now that is a good point. So routines, screen time, limit that before bed. So
Yep.
put the tablets away, well, even all the time. Make sure they're going outside and being active.
Especially this time of year.
Okay, all right, especially this time of year. And then the third one is concerns. Make sure that you are talking to the teacher or your child's teacher to make sure they're not falling asleep in class, or, you know, showing signs of not getting enough sleep.
That's absolutely right.
Okay.
You've got it.
Great.
Somebody owes you a tie.
Somebody. Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Thackeray, so much for joining us. And everybody, make sure you like, follow, share. This is really good information to get out to parents, and we're about to start school, so let's get our kids ready for kindergarten and school in general.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.